Good morning, Marianne and Carol.
Hi Dan, Dan, sorry. Hey Dave, how's it going?
Good, good. I see we've got no one checked in yet, right? For any of the show causes.
That's correct.
Okay.
Oh, somebody coming in. Yep, not for a show cause though.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go hang out in my room.
Okay.
All right.
Morning, Mr. Batar.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Ms. Coleman, please unmute yourself and turn your video on.
Ms. Coleman? Just spoke with her, Judge. I don't know what happened.
It's okay. We will figure it out. These are 24RP00745 A, B, and C. These are City of Romulus versus Christina Coleman. Your names for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel Batar on behalf of Ms. Coleman. Ms. Coleman, can you state your name for the record, please?
Christina Marie Coleman.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, Ms. Coleman is going to plead guilty to failure to report an accident and interfering with police. The interfering with police will be under 771.1 for 12 months.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Coleman, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes,
Thank you, ma'am. May you put your hand down? Ma'am, you've had the opportunity to discuss this case with Mr. Batari. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
yes,
And after having that conversation, ma'am, it's your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty to failing to report an accident and to interfering with the police.
yes,
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
yes,
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
yes,
And ma'am, you're entering these pleas freely and voluntarily.
yes,
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
no,
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
yes,
Ma'am, is it true that on February 13, 2024, in the city of Romulus, you failed to report an accident?
yes,
Ma'am, is it also true on that date and time that you interfered with the police officer
yes,
by lying about the incident?
Yeah.
Satisfied, Mr. Batar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Coleman, the court accepts your plea of guilty to failing to report an accident and interfering with the police. And Mr. Batar, was it your understanding that the driving without due care and caution was being dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Hey, Dan, good morning.
Morning, Dave.
Is Christina Coleman a plea as presented?
Yes.
Okay.
And Ms. Coleman, as previously indicated by Mr. Batar, the sentence in these matters is delayed for a period of 12 months, so long as you incur no new criminal offenses in the state of Michigan and pay costs of $300 on each of the citations. The cases will be administratively reviewed for dismissal. Do you need more than 5 days to pay the $600?
yes,
Then ma'am, I need you to do one of three things in the next 5 days, okay? 5 days to either come in person to the court's collection department and set a payment plan, call the court and do the same, or go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button. You click on it, it'll drop down. You can submit a request for a payment plan. But I need you to do one of those things, one of those three things in the next 5 days, okay?
okay,
Anything else, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Coleman, thank you for being so prompt this morning. You're free to go. You have a great day. Don't forget to contact the court's collection department.
Thank you. You as well. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning, Mr. Greco.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Ms. Robinson.
Good morning, Your Honor. How are you today?
I am super, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fabulous.
Have you already spoken to Mr. Greco?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
I'm
Mr.
asking
Okay.
for adjournment of this matter. I frankly overlooked the email from his assistant, so I need to send the request over for the body cam video in this matter.
As soon as Mr. Johnson appears, I will call your case
Okay. I will call him.
and then we'll let you get on with your day.
Well, you know what? He's in the clerk meeting room right now, Judge, so
Okay.
hopefully is,
So as soon as they verify his information, it looks like Carol's working with him right now.
okay.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
Your Honor, does the court have any potential adjourn dates?
Absolutely.
Don't you have April 18th, May 2nd, May 9th?
Ms. Robinson, I would not pick out the closest one since you're requesting video. Sometimes it just takes an extra week or so.
Okay. April 18th or May 9th was that May 9th was the next one?
May
Yes,
2nd.
ma'am. May 2nd and May 9th.
Okay. One moment.
This is 24RP011320M, City of Romulus versus Dakota Cornell. Sir, would you state your name for me, please?
Dakota Cornell.
Mr. Cornell, the way court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
You've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Greco, the prosecutor?
Yes.
Mr. Greco, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we're moving to dismiss this charge.
Do you have any objection to that, Mr. Cornell?
No, ma'am.
The case is hereby dismissed. You're free to go, sir. You have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
This is 2400130D, City of Romulus versus LeVar Johnson. Mr. Johnson, unmute yourself and state your name for me, please, sir.
LeVar Johnson.
Thank you.
Good morning, Your Honor. May it please this honorable court attorney Phyllis Gate Robinson, P71733, on behalf of Mr. LeVar Johnson, who is present and before the court. Your Honor, we are asking for a short adjournment of this matter for additional discovery to be turned over. I would like to request the body cam video from this incident It's my understanding that the court has an option of May the 9th. That should give us maximum time to make sure that all of the video is turned over. I'm gonna ask that we set this matter for the May 9th date.
Ms. Gaten Robinson, Mr. Johnson has not yet been arraigned. Are we adjourning the arraignment along with the pretrial?
Your Honor, no, he was arraigned. We came in physically for the arraignment. We were in front of the other judge.
You were Chief Judge Brian Oakley. It does not appear as, the file has not been written up as if he was arraigned already, because I don't see a bond set or anything like that. You're okay.
My apologies. We waive formal reading of the information and we stand mute. Your
Thank you,
Honor,
ma'am.
ask that the court give Mr. Johnson a personal bond. As Mr. Johnson is president before the court, he has retained counsel. He has significant ties to the community. Your Honor, he has appeared for all of his court hearings and court dates. Your Honor, Mr. Johnson is not a flight risk, and we're just asking for a personal bond in this matter.
Absolutely. Mr. Johnson's bond will be set at 5,000 personal. Sir, you do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Because there is an allegation that you are operating a motor vehicle with a blood content of 0.239, a condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages until further order of the court or this matter is resolved. Your pretrial in this matter will be adjourned to May the 9th, 2024 at
8:40.
at 8:40 a.m. That's back here on Zoom with me in courtroom number 1. Notice of that new date and time will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Is there anything else, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Ms. Gaten Robinson, I'm sorry.
No, Your Honor, I want you all to have a wonderful day.
You too, ma'am. Thank you. Mr. Johnson, you have a great afternoon, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You can log off now, Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Jadal, are you with Mr. Lawrence?
I am, Judge.
These are 1716901722243. These are City of Romulus versus Kevin Lawrence. May I have your names for the record, please?
Kevin Lawrence.
And David Greco here on behalf of the City of Romulus.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Rajadala, appearing on behalf of Mr. Lawrence. Your Honor, for purpose of today's, I believe these are pretrials, so I believe he may have been arraigned on these matters already, Judge. We're just asking for final pretrials. If he hasn't been arraigned, Your Honor, we'd waive formal reading and stand mute just in case.
He's been arraigned, Mr. Jadala. The issue is that these cases are in warrant status. Mr. Lawrence was advised on February 20th that he needed to pay $150 per file to lift the warrant. He has not done that. Final pretrial of
April 18th at 9:10.
Mr. Lawrence, you're going to log back in April 18th at 9:10 to this courtroom for your final pretrial, okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
Based on Mr. Lawrence's appearance this morning, the court will recall the warrants. Mr. Lawrence, notice of that final pretrial date and time will be mailed to you at the address you verified with court staff. Have a good day, sir. You're free to go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome, Mr. Jadala.
Judge
Mr.
Ramirez,
Bowdish is waiting for you.
no, he's just in my room talking. Yeah. The
Okay.
yeah, that's his place this morning apparently, which is fine. I saw the name of Kendra Kamke earlier. Did that case get resolved, or did she like log off or?
She must have logged off. I thought I
Okay.
saw it too.
Yeah. Okay, just curious.
Hmm. 21 RP 023420T, City of Romulus versus Ashley Parton.
Morning, Your Honor. Daniel Batar on behalf of Ms. Pardon. Ms. Pardon, can you state your name for the record, please?
Ashley M. Pardon.
Today's day and time scheduled for the show cause arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Ms. Pardon is going to plead to double parking with a stipulated fine of $250.
Ms. Parton, you were able to speak to Mr. Batar this morning regarding the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes.
And after
Yes.
having that conversation, it's your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of responsible to the added count of double parking and the original misdemeanor charge of giving false information to the police would be dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's how you wish to resolve this case.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of responsible to the added count of double parking, will impose the fine of $250. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that $250?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, you already have a bond posted in this case of $150. The court will apply that bond and you need to pay that balance. You also have 2 other outstanding matters where you owe the court $764 for some tickets from 2020. If you have not already made arrangements, please contact the court's collection department or go online and make payment for those 2 citations, okay?
Yes.
Anything else, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Parton, you're free to go. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much. You as well.
Thank you. Ms. Gayton Robinson?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. I'm sorry. So I have an order that requires your signature. Can I?
If you look in the chat, Mary Ann will send you her email address. You can send it to her. She'll print it out, send it to me.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, Miss Mary Ann. I see it.
Welcome.
Mr. Lewis, as soon as one of the MIDC attorneys come out, I'll call your case, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir. Which one did you speak to? There's a gentleman with a beard and one that's clean shaven.
I'm the bearded gentleman.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is 2401360D, City of Romulus versus Eugene Lewis. May I have your appearances, please?
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Rajadala, appearing on behalf of Mr. Lewis. Mr. Lewis, please say your name.
My name is Eugene Philip Lewis.
Thank you. Today is the day and time scheduled for the arraignment and pretrial. Mr. Jadala, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, for purposes of arraignment, we'd waive formal reading and stand mute. For purposes of pretrial, Mr. Lewis would like to avail himself to the plea whereby he will be pleading guilty to 1 count of impaired driving. He understands the rights he is waiving by doing so.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. May put your hand down. Sir, you've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Jadala this morning. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, Your Honor.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty to the added count of operating while impaired and the original charge of operating while intoxicated would be dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
This is voluntarily.
Thank you. You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to plead guilty.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, is it true that on February 18, 2024, in the city of Romulus, you operated a motor vehicle while you were impaired by some intoxicant?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you don't dispute the findings or the statements contained in the police report that at the time you interacted with police, you had a blood alcohol of 0.089.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't dispute, no
That-
dispute.
Thank you. Satisfied, Mr. Greco?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Jadala?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Sir, the court will accept your plea of guilty to the added count of operating while visibly impaired and dismiss the original charge of operating while intoxicated. Because this was your first appearance, sir, bond had not previously been set. Your bond is $5,000 personal. You don't have to post any money, but what I need you to do is continue to participate in these proceedings until the case is resolved. The next step in these proceedings is that you will be referred to the probation department. They will interview you, develop a sentence recommendation, and schedule you to come back to the court to have sentence imposed, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
They'll be reaching out to you by phone and by email. Please respond to them, and they'll, like I said, interview you and get you back here with me for sentencing. Anything else, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further for Mr. Lewis, Your Honor.
Thank you. Sir, you are free to go. You have a great afternoon. I'll see you at sentencing, okay?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. Have a great
You're very
day.
welcome, sir. Have a great, thank you. This is 2401350 OM, City of Romulus versus Aaliyah Norris. Ms. Norris, turn your video on. Please state your name for me.
Aaliyah Norris.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Jadala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Ms. Norris. I'm sorry, Mr. Greco, go ahead.
You're David Greco here on behalf of the city of Romulus.
Your Honor, for purposes of today's arraignment, we'd waive formal reading and stand mute. At this time, we're respectfully requesting a pretrial. I've also requested discovery from the city attorney.
Thank you. There was a bond recommendation asking that Ms. Norris's bond be set at 10,000, 10%. Mr. Jadala, your comment as to bond in this matter.
Your Honor, Ms. Norris understands that there is going to be a do not contact and stay away from the address where this allegedly occurred. She is going, I've talked to her about that. She is going to comply with that, Your Honor. And she's here. She will continue to be here, Your Honor. We just asked for a personal bond. She will return as ordered.
And it is just, are we just setting this for
A pretrial.
just a regular pretrial? Okay.
Correct.
I don't know. Okay.
Just want an opportunity to review the video that you make mention to and get the police report.
Okay.
Thank you. Ms. Norris, your bond is set at 5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Condition of your bond is that you do not return to the location where the event is alleged to have occurred. You have no contact with the person who is named as the victim in the police report. Mr. Jadala, of course, made a notation to file that discovery's been requested. The pretrial will be adjourned to
April 18th at 9:10.
April 18th at 9:10 a.m. Ms. Norris will be back here on Zoom with me in courtroom number 1. Notice of this new date and time will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Is there anything else in this case, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Ms. Norris, you're free to go. You have a great day, ma'am.
Thank you.
This is 24RP012880M, City of Romulus versus Jasmine Sigmund.
Your Honor, David Greco here on behalf of the city of Romulus.
Daniel Batar on behalf of Ms. Sigmund, Your Honor. Ms. Sigmund, can you state your name for the record, please?
Jasmine Sigmund.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Bitar, how are we proceeding with this arraignment pretrial?
Your Honor, the prosecution is moving to dismiss the case. The complainant no longer wants to proceed with anything.
That's correct.
Thank
I
you.
confirmed that, Your Honor.
Ms. Sigmund, this case is hereby dismissed. You're free to go. You have a great afternoon.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. What did Ms. Gayden Robinson send, or did she not send it yet?
No, I haven't received anything yet. No. Well, you better be quiet and sit back.
Sir, you should see an invitation or a button to go into a breakout room. Please go there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yep.
This is 24 RP 00831OM, City of Romulus versus Kendra Kamke. Ma'am, state your name for me, please.
Kendra Kamke.
Ma'am, the way court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
You've had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, Mr. Greco.
I have.
Mr. Greco, how are we proceeding?
We have a resolution, Your Honor, where Ms. Kamke is going to plead guilty to the charge of trespass. The prosecution is recommending a sentence of fine only with and for her to stay away from the Comfort Inn located at 31800 Wick. So she's aware she's trespassed from the hotel.
Thank you. Ms. Kamke, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Ma'am, you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties this morning?
Yes.
And knowing that you wish to plead guilty as charged to trespass?
Yes.
Ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Right.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Ma'am, is it true that on February 18, 2024, in the city of Romulus, you trespassed at the Comfort Inn located at 31800 Wick?
Yes.
Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty as charged to trespass. Is there anything you would like to say before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
No, just that for the fines, I do get Social Security, so I was hoping that if the fine is too much, that maybe I could make a couple of payments to satisfy that. As I only get
Understood.
paid
Thank
once
you,
a month.
ma'am.
Okay.
Then, ma'am, the court will impose minimal fines and costs in this matter. It's a fine of $100, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, and $20 fund fee. That is $345. If you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, I need you to do one of three things, ma'am. You can come in person to the courthouse and set a payment plan. You can call the court, ask to speak to someone in the collections department, and they'll set a payment plan that way. Or you may go onto the court's website. There's a click down button that says contact us. You can submit a request for a payment plan that way, but do something sooner rather than later, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're so very welcome, ma'am. You have a great day. You're free to go.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's I'm trying to move this guy around with no luck.
Understood. Sir,
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Sorry about that. It brought me right back into the room. I was in the waiting room. Sorry.
you're okay.
Okay.
She's gonna try to get you moved again. We need court staff to be able to label you,
Okay.
confirm your phone number and address, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I think they took me to the wrong room.
You're back here with me. I'm not sure why. Let's figure out where you're supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't know why. I got it.
They're trying to get you into the clerk's room, sir. I'm not sure why you're not going.
Yes, ma'am.
Two four RP 00832OM, City of Romulus versus Brian Suter. Sir, state your name for me, please.
Brian Dale Suter.
Sir, the way court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor, Mr. Greco?
Yes, I did, ma'am.
Mr. Greco, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, this is a similar case to the one that we just handled with the co-defendant, I think Ms. Kamke. Mr. Suter was with her at the time. So we've talked, come to a resolution, which is the same resolution, pleading guilty to the trespass, recommending fine only, stay away from the Comfort Inn at 31800 Wick.
Mr. Suter,
Yes,
do you
sir.
swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do, ma'am.
Mr. Suter, you understand that if the court accepts your plea of guilty this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Excuse me. Yes, I do, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't hear you. I apologize.
I said you will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, I want to plead guilty. Yeah.
Understood, sir. And sir, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, I am guilty, ma'am. I was trespassing.
Sir, is it true that on February 18, 2024, you trespassed at the Comfort Inn located at 31800 Wick in the city of Romulus?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of guilty in this matter and will impose the following: a fine of $100, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victim fee. There's $50 mandatory state cost and $20 fund fee. That's $345. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount?
Yes, I do, ma'am. I'm on Social Security, and I need a payment plan.
Understood. Then, Mr. Sutter, I need you to do one of three things in the next 5 days, okay? I need you to either come in person to the courthouse, speak to a member of the court staff, and they will set a payment plan. You may call the court and speak to someone in the collections department. They'll set a payment plan. Or you may go onto the court's website. There's a contact us button. It'll drop down. You can submit a request for a payment plan, but you must do one of those three things in the next 5 days. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Other than that, sir, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Hey, you too, Judge.
Thank you.
Okay.
These are 23RP061670M and 230958OM. They're both City of Romulus versus Anthony Crump. Mr. Crump, turn your video on, unmute yourself. Attorneys may have your appearances.
Yes, David Greco here on behalf of the city of Romulus.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Richardala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Crump. Mr. Crump, please say your name for the record.
Your Honor, I am Anthony Crump.
Your Honor, I have this
Thank you,
matter
Mr.
scheduled
Richardala.
for a reading. I'm on the way for a reading, stand mute. Respectfully request a pretrial and discovery from the city attorney.
Hello? Did I stand the phone against somebody else?
You're good. Mr. Suter, you may leave, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Crump, your bond in these matters will be set at 1,000 personal for each case. You don't need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until these cases are resolved in their entirety. That adjourned pretrial date will be
April 18th at 9:10.
April 18th at 9:10 a.m. Mr. Crump, notice of the new date and time will be mailed to you at the address we have on record. Is there anything else, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crump. I'll see you on the 18th. Have a good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yep.
Sammer, I'll meet you in your meeting room.
Sounds good.
Oh, wait, you got somebody there. You want to meet in my meeting room?
24 RP 00973OM, City of Romulus versus Sheila Larkins. Your appearances, please.
Daniel Batar on behalf of Ms. Larkins, Your Honor. Ms. Larkins, can you unmute yourself and turn on your camera, please?
Yes,
Thank you. Can you state your name for the record, please?
yes, for the record, my name is Sheila Larkin.
Thank you. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding with this arraignment and pretrial?
Your Honor, the prosecution is moving to dismiss the charge.
Ms. Larkins, this case is hereby dismissed. You're free to go, ma'am. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you, you as well. Thank you, Your Honor,
Thank you.
and thank you, Attorney.
You're welcome. Good luck, Ms. Larkins.
You good luck. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ma'am, you should see a pop-up to go into a breakout room. Please go there.
Me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello, Judge.
Yes, sir.
So there is a case on the docket, last name Solak, Solak. It's one of Mr. Bowdich's clients. It's set for a pretrial today. We are moving to dismiss the case, and I want to make sure it gets dismissed rather than go into warrant status if she's not here. The deal was paying back her ex-boyfriend the money, and he wanted to drop the case. She did in fact do that. I know for a fact it happened, but I don't want it to slip through the cracks and go into warrant status. Maybe she, maybe her communication with Mr. Bowditch, she wasn't misunderstood if she was supposed to show up or not.
Mr. Greco, that's fine. This is 24RP 000680M, City of Romulus versus Christy Solak. I will show this case as dismissed.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. These are 2RP 03255, 24RP 01401A and B and C. These are all City of Romulus versus Shantae Baker. May I have your appearances, please?
Daniel Batar on behalf of Miss Baker, Your Honor. Miss Baker, can you state your name for the record, please?
Shantae Renee Baker.
Thank you.
And David Greco here on behalf of the city.
How are we proceeding, Mr. Batar?
Your Honor, my client is going to plead guilty to no operator's license on person. She will plead responsible to the plate violation. The no proof of insurance will be dismissed on that case, and the open intox case will also be dismissed.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Baker, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss your cases this morning with Mr. Bitar, and you understand why we're here.
Yes, ma'am.
And ma'am, it's your understanding and agreement this morning that you will plead responsible to the registration or plate violation and guilty to no operator's license on person and the no proof of insurance and the open intoxicants in vehicle will be dismissed.
Yes,
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your pleas this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
I understand.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
I understand.
And ma'am, you're entering these pleas freely and voluntarily?
Yes,
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty and responsible.
no, Your Honor.
You're pleading that way because you are in fact guilty and responsible.
Yes,
Ma'am, is it true that on March the 13th, 2024, in the city of Romulus, you operated a motor vehicle with no operator's license on your person?
yes,
Ma'am, is it also true on that date and time that you had a registration or plate violation in as much as the plate had expired?
yes,
So, take your cap off, sir. Satisfied, Mr. Bitar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Baker, the court accepts your plea of responsible to the registration or plate violation and guilty to the no operator's license on person. Mr. Bitar, was there anything you wanted to say before fines and costs were imposed in this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Baker, for the registration or plate violation, the court will impose fines and costs of $150. And for the no operator's license on person, the court will impose a fine of $100, cost of $100. There's $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state costs, and $20 fund fee. That's $345. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that total of $495?
yes, ma'am, I do.
Then, Ms. Baker, I need you to do one of three things. You can either go online to the court's website. There's a contact us button. You click on that button, you may submit a request for a payment plan that way. Or you may come in person to the courthouse, speak to a member of the collection staff and set a payment plan. Or you may call the court, ask to speak to someone in the collections department, set a payment plan that way. But you must do one of those three things in the next 5 days. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Anything else, Mr. Bitar?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Baker, you're free to go. Other than contacting collections, you have a wonderful afternoon, okay?
You do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Two 2402720M, City of Romulus versus Jeffrey Dillon. Appearances, please.
Respectfully, Your Honor, Sam Richardella, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Dillon. Purposes of arraignment, waive formal reading and stay in mute. Your Honor, I believe prosecutors moving to dismiss this matter. What
State
is
your
this
name
law?
for me, please, sir.
Jeffrey Dillon.
Thank you, Mr. Dillon. This case is hereby dismissed. Is there anything else, Mr. Jadala?
I'm sorry, Judge?
That's it. Is there anything else, sir?
Nothing. You're free to go,
Thank
Mr.
you,
Dillon.
Mr.
Your case is being dismissed.
Thank you
Have a
guys
good
very
day,
much.
sir.
You too.
Your Honor, I had a Mr. Bowman that I spoke to that was going to take a plea. He may be in the clerk waiting room. I'm not sure if that's him with the Samsung. We was having a little bit of problem after we spoke.
Once Carol gets him relabeled, if it's him, I'll bring him back into the session, the main
Sure.
session.
Sounds good. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. I'm not used to your surroundings. Your background is different than usual.
Yes.
Mr. Bowman, as soon as Mr. Jadala pops back out, we'll get your case called, okay?
Okay.
This is 2402730T, City of Romulus versus Christopher Bowman. Your appearances, please.
Respectfully, Your Honor, Sam Richardala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Bowman. Your Honor, for purposes of today's arraignment, we'd waive formal reading and stand mute. This time, Mr. Bowman will be tendering a plea to one count of careless driving, responsible, and a guilty plea to failure to stop at an accident.
Sir, would you state your name for me, please?
Chris Bowman or Christopher?
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Sir, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Jadala this morning. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties?
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your understanding and agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of responsible to careless driving and guilty to failing to stop after an accident?
Yes.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your pleas this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Yes, I understand.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead responsible and guilty?
No, ma'am.
You're doing so because you are in fact responsible and guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on January 18, 2024, you operated your motor vehicle in a way that could be deemed careless?
Yes.
Sir, is it also true on that date and time that you failed to stop after a property damage accident?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Jadala?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Mr. Bowman, the court will accept your pleas of responsible to the careless driving and guilty to failing to stop after a property damage accident. Anything before fines and costs are imposed, Mr. Jadala?
Respect, Your Honor. Mr. Bowman understands. He's here. He took responsibility. We just asked for minimal fines and costs, please.
Thank you. Mr. Bowman, the court will impose fines and costs of $180 for the careless driving, and for the failing to stop after the accident, there is a fine of $100, cost of $100, $75 mandatory crime victims fee, $50 mandatory state cost, $20 fund fee. There was an indication on the documents received from the prosecutor that the victim may seek restitution in the civil matter, so that's not included in today's matters. That's a total of $525. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Then, Mr. Bowman, I need you to do one of three things for me, please. I need you to either come in person to the courthouse, speak to a member of the court's collection staff and set a payment plan. Or you may call and speak to a member of the court staff and set a payment plan that way. Last but not least, you can go onto the court's website. There is a contact us button. You click on that button, it'll drop down and allow you to submit a request for a payment plan, but please do one of those three things sooner rather than later, okay?
Okay, within the next week, sound good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Other than that, Mr. Bowman, you're free to go. You have a great afternoon, sir.
Okay, you as well. Real quick, can we get a total amount of those charges? Yeah, I just want to make sure I wrote that down.
525, sir.
Oh, 525 total?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, I do apologize. Thank you.
No, you're okay. Have a good day.
You as well.
Thank you. Take your hat off for me, please, in 2402690M, City of Romulus versus Daniel Schneider.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Richardala, P62186, appearing on behalf of Mr. Snyder. Mr. Snyder, please say your name.
Daniel Snyder.
Thank you. Mr. Jadala, how are we proceeding this morning?
Your Honor, for purposes of today's arraignment, we'd waive formal reading, and then purposes of pretrial, Mr. Snyder would like to avail himself to the plea whereby he'll be pleading guilty to 1 count of malicious destruction of property. He understands that there is restitution in the amount of $1,030, and the disorderly is going to be dismissed. Your Honor, I know there's a recommendation. We just ask that this matter be set for a PSI. So Mr. Snyder could meet with probation, hopefully, and if there's any services that they seem that he may need and can fulfill, that can occur. He understands he is not to return to the address and not to have any contact with his mother. He says that that is going to happen, absolutely.
Thank you. Mr. Snyder, would you raise your right hand for me, please, sir? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Swear, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Sir, you have the opportunity to speak to Mr. Jadala, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Correct.
And after having that conversation, sir, is your understanding and agreement that you will be tendering a plea of guilty to count 1, malicious destruction of property, and that count 2, disorderly person, would be dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind?
Yes, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty?
No, Your Honor.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on January 13, 2024, in the city of Romulus, you committed malicious destruction of property, in that you did willfully, wantonly, or maliciously destroy or injure the property belonging to another?
Yes, Your Honor.
And sir, is your understanding and agreement that there is restitution sought in this matter in the amount of $1,030?
Yes, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Greco?
I am, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Jadala?
Satisfied, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Snyder, because this is your first appearance, there had not been bond set in this matter. The court setting a bond at 1,000 personal. You don't need to post any money, but what I need you to do is continue to participate in these proceedings until the case is resolved in its entirety. As Mr. Jadala indicated, the court will refer the matter to the probation department for a PSI or an interview to see if there are services that you need before the court actually imposes fines and costs in this matter, or any other things that the probation department might deem as necessary. Probation will be in contact with you by phone and by email. Please respond to their efforts to be in contact or communication with you. They will schedule you to come back for sentence here with me in courtroom number 1. At that time, we will impose any of the conditions suggested by the probation department, as well as the order of restitution for the $1,030. Is there anything else in this matter, Mr. Greco?
Just very briefly, Your Honor. I appreciate everything that's been said and everything that the court has imposed and the representations by Mr. Schneider on the record. I just want the court to know that as I was investigating this matter and looking into and proposing the plea deals, that Mr. Schneider is alleged to have done more damage at his mother's house this past Sunday, which is not under investigation by me, but perhaps downtown by the Wayne County prosecutors. So I'd like to just, I can't emphasize more for him to stay away from his mother's house. Obviously, I'm very concerned about it, which is why I made a recommendation of jail time in this matter. I'm okay with the PSI. I appreciate what the probation department does to do that. But if he's going to be out, he absolutely 100% has to stay away from his mother's home.
I'm going back to Dearborn today, probably.
Well, Mr. Schneider, based on what Mr. Greco just placed on the record, the court will add 2 additional things, sir. You have no contact with Brenda Finan, Finan, and do not return to the location. I'm just looking for the address.
I can look, Your Honor, as well.
5859 Airborne Street, Romulus, Michigan.
Thank you. I see it now. Thank you. 5859. And Mr. Schneider, inasmuch as Mr. Greco has placed on the record that you are alleged to have returned to the property and done more damage and is going downtown, that takes it to the level of being a felony and not a misdemeanor that would be back on this docket. So there must be something serious that is alleged to have happened. This court's not getting into it right now, but no contact with Miss Brenda Finan means no contact, sir, and do not return to 5859 Airborne in the city of Romulus means do not return. If this court receives formal statements that you've made efforts to be in contact or communication with her that you return to the property, it could be viewed as a violation of terms of your bond, and Mr. Greco's implied request for you to serve jail time in this matter will be taken very seriously. Do you understand?
Very much so, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Schneider, you're free to go. You may exit that room through the door on your left. Probation department will be in contact with you. Good luck to you, sir. Have a good afternoon.
You don't want me to post no money, Your Honor, yet? No money?
Not right now, sir, when you come back for sentencing.
Oh, all right, well, you have a nice evening.
Thank you. This is 20RP03590OM, City of Romulus versus Royal.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, David Greco here on behalf of the city of Romulus.
Daniel Batar on behalf of Miss Royal, Your Honor.
State your name, ma'am.
Naya Royal.
Thank you. Today is the day and time set for the show cause, arraignment, and pretrial. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we'll waive a formal reading, stand mute. We're asking the court to set this matter for a final pretrial so Mr. Greco can check with the complainant on this.
In the interim, Ms. Royal, your bond in this matter is set at $3,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Final pretrial will be
April 18th at 9:20.
April 18th at 9:20 a.m. back here in courtroom number 1 on Zoom. Ma'am, notice of that new date and time will be mailed to you at the address you verified with court staff this morning. Is there anything else in this matter, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Royal, you're free to go. You have a great afternoon.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. This is 240270. This is City of Romulus versus Farran. Oh, I'm sorry. Is Attorney Davis here yet?
I have not
No.
spoken or seen Mr. Davis.
Okay. Thank you. Sir, we're just waiting for your attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. 240271OM, City of Romulus versus Brandon Waller.
Oh, I think his attorney just left.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Waller, which of the court-appointed attorneys did you speak to? Clean shaven or with the beard?
I didn't even, they had us in that breaking room for so long, I didn't get a chance to speak with nobody, so I just said forget it.
No, sir, don't forget it. Your case is scheduled at 9:50.
Oh.
It's only 9:43. Go back in there. They're There are two court-appointed attorneys bouncing back and forth.
Oh, I don't even know how to get back, man.
They'll help you get back in. Court staff will help you.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Hadley? Two four RP 014110M, City of Romulus versus Catherine Devine. Appearances, please.
Daniel Batar on behalf of Ms. Devine, Your Honor. Ms. Devine, can you state your name for the record, please?
Catherine Devine.
Mr. Batar, I saw a notation that this case was being dismissed. Is that correct?
That is correct, Judge.
Ms. Devine, your case is dismissed. You're free to go. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. This is 24RP01427OT, City of Romulus versus Philip Robinson Mohammed. State your name for me, please, sir.
Philip Robinson Muhammad.
Sir, the way the court staff have you labeled indicates that you waive your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Greco, the prosecutor for the City of Romulus?
Yes, I have.
Mr. Greco, how are we proceeding?
We've come to a resolution in this case where we're going to amend the false information to police officer charge to a double parking with an agreed upon fine of $250 to resolve this case.
Sir, is it your understanding and agreement that you will plead responsible to the added count of double parking, pay a fine of $250, and the misdemeanor of giving false information to the police would be dismissed?
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's how you wish to resolve this case, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, the court will accept the plea of responsible to the added count of double parking and dismiss the misdemeanor. Court imposes the fine of $250. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
No, I could pay that off right now.
Okay. Then Mr. Robinson Mohammed, what I need you to do is just have that paid within the next 5 days, okay? You can pay it in person here at the courthouse, or you may pay it online.
I'm gonna have to pay it online.
Anything else this morning, sir?
No, Your Honor.
You're free to go. Have a great day, okay?
Thank you, you too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Your Honor, I see Mr. Davis is here. I'm going to go talk to him.
Thank you. Ms. Brooks, turn your video on. Unmute yourself for me, please. Ma'am, this is 24RP014120M, City of Romulus versus Caitlin Brooks. State your name for me.
Caitlin Brooks.
Ms. Brooks, the prosecutor submitted a request to the court to dismiss this matter. Do you have any objection to the case being dismissed?
No.
Case is dismissed. You're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you. This is 24RP014190M, City of Romulus versus Robinson. Ma'am, would you state your name for me, please?
Kanaya Robinson.
Ms. Robinson, the court has received a request from the prosecutor to dismiss this case. Do you have any objection to the case being dismissed?
No, ma'am. It can be dismissed.
Ms. Robinson, this case is hereby dismissed. You have some other outstanding matters where you owe the court $894 for some tickets from 2023. So I need you to please either go online to the court's website, submit a request for a payment plan, call and speak to the court's collection department and set a payment plan, or come in person and set a payment plan, okay?
Okay, I can do that in a few minutes. Come up there.
Thank you, ma'am. Other than that, you're free to go. You have a great day.
Thank you.
Give me just 1 minute, Mr. Jadala. Oh. I thought somebody was just out here with you.
And I had a Mr. Gaines. I don't know where Mr. Oh, he did
You
not.
went back into your meeting room for some reason.
All right. Well, he should be coming back out. I just asked him to come out. There it goes.
These are 240268OM and 240280OM. These are both City of Romulus versus Markel Gaines. Your appearances, please.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Jadala, P62186, MIDC Arraignment Counsel, appearing on behalf of Mr. Gaines. Mr. Gaines, please say your name for the record.
Mark Will Gaines.
Thank you. How are we proceeding, Mr. Jadala?
Your Honor, for purposes of today's arraignment, we'd waive formal reading, staying mute. Respectfully, we're going to be requesting discovery in this matter, just asking for a pretrial.
There are the bond recommendations are blank. Mr. Gaines, the court is going to set your bond in these both matters at $5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by this court until this matter is resolved in its entirety. Condition of your bond is that you have no contact with Ms. Baker I understand that because of the relationship, that might be a little difficult, but sir, until this case is resolved, no contact. No contact means no contact, no direct contact. No contact through third persons, no contact through social media. Should the court receive reports that you've made effort to be in contact and or communication with the alleged victim in this case, it could be viewed as a violation of the terms of your bond. Your bond could be revoked and you could spend the rest of these proceedings in custody. Do you understand?
Yes.
That adjourned pretrial date will be
April 18th at 9:20.
April 18th, 9/20.
at
And Mr. Greco, I
9:20.
just want to remind you that we'd asked for discovery on that matter too.
All right, discovery on this, and it's just a regular pretrial, right?
That is correct, Mr. Greco.
Correct. Mr. Gaines, notice of that new date and time will be mailed to you at the address we have on record, the one that you verified with court staff this morning. Is there anything else in these matters, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gaines, you're free to go. You have a good afternoon. I'll see you on the 18th.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Greco, you had, nope. Do. 24RP014180M, City of Romulus versus Richard White. Your appearances, please.
Respectfully, Your Honor, Sam Richard Alla, appearing on behalf of Mr. White. Your Honor, for purposes of arraignment with waive formal reading and staying mute, city attorneys asking for this case to be dismissed. We have no objections.
Correct.
State your name for me, please, sir.
Richard White.
Mr. White, your case is hereby dismissed. Sir, you do have one unrelated outstanding matter where you owe the court $276 for an impeding traffic ticket from 2023. If you have not already done so, please contact the court's collection department to either pay that in full or make payment arrangements, okay?
Okay.
Have a good day, sir. You're free to go.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you. Mr. Greco, you had some mutual fighting cases that were dismissed and another case with a disorderly person, Ms. Robinson. Those were dismissed while you were in the breakout.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Were you expecting Mr. Davis or was he waiting for Mr.?
No, we've already talked. He's moving to a new location, so I'm giving him a few minutes before I move him in here.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is 240279 OD. This is City of Romulus versus Delane Patrius. May I have your appearances, please?
Yes, David Greco here on behalf of the city of Romulus.
Paul Youngs on behalf of Miss Patrius, Your Honor.
Would you state your name for me, please, ma'am?
Delane K. Patrius.
Thank you. Mr. Youngs, how are we proceeding with the arraignment and pretrial, sir?
We'll waive reading and stand mute as to the arraignment, Judge. I did strike an agreement with Mr. Greco and we'll be pleading after that.
And the resolution, Your Honor, is that we're reducing the high BAC to an OWI intox.
Thank you. Ma'am, would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. You've had the opportunity to discuss this case with your attorney, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, Your Honor.
And after having that conversation, it's your understanding and agreement that you will be pleading guilty this morning to the added count of operating while intoxicated, and the original charge of operating with blood alcohol content of 0.17 or more will be dismissed.
She's asking if you understand all that.
Yes, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, Your Honor.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, Your Honor.
You haven't been threatened in any way, promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, Your Honor.
You're pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ma'am, is it true that on August the 18th, 2023, in the city of Romulus, you operated a motor vehicle while you were intoxicated?
Yes, Your Honor.
And ma'am, you do not dispute or contest that at the time you interacted with police, you had a blood alcohol content of 0.23?
No, Your Honor.
Satisfied, Mr. Greco?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Youngs?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you. Ma'am, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the added count of operating while intoxicated. The original charge is dismissed. Because this was your first appearance, you had not been formally placed on bond, but your bond in this matter will be $5,000 personal. You don't need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear and participate until this case is resolved. Because of the nature of your plea, condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages until further order of the court. Because this is a drinking and driving offense, the case is being referred to the probation department for a PSI. They will interview you, develop a sentence recommendation, and schedule you to return to the courtroom with Mr. Youngs for sentence to be imposed. Is there anything else in this case, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Youngs?
No, Judge.
Thank you. Ma'am, good luck to you. You have a great afternoon. I will see you at sentencing.
Excuse me, real quick, Judge, she needs to go in and verify her information with Carol.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put you there. Yep, you're welcome.
Oh, via Zoom right now?
Yep, I'm gonna Zoom you. You're gonna speak with Carol, the clerk.
Sounds great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Youngs.
Okay.
Mary Ann, I'm stepping up, but I'll be right back. If Mr. Davis pops in, don't let him leave.
All right.
Mr. Waller?
Yes.
Good morning, sir. Which of the attorneys did you talk to, Beard or clean shaven?
It was the clean shaven, but ma'am, to be honest, ma'am, I don't want no court appointed lawyer. I feel like he's not suitable for me, and he wasn't trying to hear what I was trying to say, to be honest. So I'll be representing myself today, to be honest. Now I know I don't have a law degree or nothing like that, but I feel like I can represent myself in this matter.
You don't have to have a law degree to represent yourself, Mr. Waller. The only concern I have is that if you are electing not to proceed with Mr. Bitar, you would need the opportunity to speak to the prosecutor this morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So Mr. Waller, just sit tight.
Okay.
Okay. This is 2402780D, City of Romulus versus William Martin. Your names for the record, please.
Your Honor, respectfully, Sam Jadala, appearing on behalf of Mr. Martin. Mr. Martin, please say your name.
William Martin.
Your Honor, for purposes
Thank
of
you,
today's
Mr.
arraignment.
Martin.
I'm sorry, Judge, for purposes of arraignment with waive formal reading, stand mute. Purposes of pretrial, Mr. Martin would like to avail himself to the plea whereby he'll be pleading guilty to 1 count of impaired driving. He understands the rights he is waiving by doing so.
Thank you. Mr. Martin, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. You may put your hand down. Sir, you have the opportunity to speak to Mr. Jadala, and you understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, ma'am.
And after having that conversation, it's your understanding and agreement that you'll be entering a plea of guilty to the add account of operating while impaired, and the original charge of operating while intoxicated would be dismissed.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes, ma'am.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, ma'am.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Martin, is it true that on October 21st, 2023 in the city of Romulus, you operated a motor vehicle while you were impaired by some intoxicant?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Martin, you don't dispute the report from the police department that your blood alcohol content at the time you operated the motor vehicle was 0.11?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Martin, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the added count of operating while visibly impaired, dismisses the original operating while intoxicated. The next step in these proceedings is that you'll be referred to the probation department. They will interview you. They will send you things by email. They will call you. They will make a sentence recommendation, schedule you to come back before me to have sentence formally imposed. Sir, because this is your first appearance, you had not had bond set. Court sets your bond at $5,000, 10%. You don't need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear and respond to the communications from the probation department. Sir, you have an additional unrelated matter where you owe the court $670 for a speeding ticket from 2016 and a PBT refusal from 2023. Again, that total is $670. If you have not already done so, please go onto the court's website and make payment, or you may come in person and make payment or call and make payment arrangements, okay?
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Jadala?
Nothing further, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Martin. You're free to go. You have a good afternoon. I'll see you at sentencing, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Batar, we have 240271 OM, City of Romulus versus Brandon Waller.
Judge, I won't be representing Mr. Waller. Mr. Jadala is going to represent him.
Mr. Waller, have you spoken to Mr. Jadala?
No, I haven't.
Okay, we're gonna get you moved into his meeting room. He's in there right now waiting for you.
That's what I'm saying, Your Honor. Do I have to speak with the court-appointed lawyer?
To go and see Mr. Grant?
Yeah.
You said, do you have to?
Yes.
You don't have to. You have an absolute right to represent yourself, sir. And that's what I said before Mr. Batar even came out. You don't have to be represented. You can represent yourself, but then we'll have to send you in to speak to the prosecutor so you can hear the offer he's made if Mr. Batar hasn't already relayed that to you, sir.
Yeah. I'd rather just speak to the prosecutor.
We'll get you moved into his waiting room, sir. This is 240270 OM. This is City of Romulus versus Ferran. May I have your appearances, please?
Morning, Your Honor. I'm Rich Davis, appearing with Jason Ferran, who's present, appearing via Zoom. Mr. Ferran, will you please state your name?
Jason Ferran.
How are we proceeding in this arraignment and pretrial, Mr. Davis?
Judge, I'll waive formal reading. Your plea to stand mute. For pretrial purposes, I spoke with the prosecutor. He's going to send over the discovery. So I'm asking the court to set another pretrial for now.
Mr. Davis, before we get that pretrial date, there was a recommendation from Romulus Police Department that your client's bond be set at $10,000, 10%. Your comment as to bond in this matter, sir.
Your Honor, my client's 63. He's a retired Marine. He doesn't have any criminal history. He's here on time. He was actually logged in early. He has retained counsel. He's fully invested in this case. He's going to appear at all future court appearances. Bond is to assure his court appearance, and I don't think that's necessary considering his history. So just ask the court to issue a standard no go to the Romulus Athletic Center where this incident happened, and give him a personal bond.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. The court will set bond at $5,000 personal. Sir, you do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court until this case is resolved in its entirety. Condition of your bond is that you not return to the RAC, the Romulus Athletic Center. Mr. Davis, the court makes a note in the file that you're requesting discovery, and the pretrial in this matter will be adjourned to
April 18th at 9:30.
April 18th at 9:30 a.m. Notice of that new date and time will be mailed to you at the address you verified with court staff this morning, sir. It's back on Zoom, back here with me in courtroom number 1. Is there anything else, Mr. Davis?
No, nothing else. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You're free to go. You have a good afternoon. Thank you for your patience today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
This is 2402810D, City of Romulus versus Rachel Patton. May I have your names for the record, please?
Daniel Batar on behalf of Ms. Patton, Your Honor. Ms. Patton, can you state your name for the record, please?
Rachel Patton. Rachel Patton.
We heard you. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Ms. Patton. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding with this arraignment and pretrial?
Your Honor, as to the arraignment, we will waive a formal reading and stand mute, please. And we're asking the court for a pretrial at a later date so we can get some discovery.
Understood. The recommendation from the police department was that Ms. Patton be placed on personal bond. The court will do that. Ms. Patton, your bond will be set at $5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear and participate in these proceedings until this case is resolved in its entirety. Because the allegations contained in the complaint, condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume any alcoholic beverages until further order of the court.
Okay.
Mr. Batar, the court will make the notation that this case is being adjourned, this pretrial is being adjourned, that new date will be
April 18th at 9:40.
April
Say April
18th at 9:40.
9:40.
Ms. Patton, court staff will mail notice of that new date and time to you at the address you verified this morning. It will be back on the same Zoom with me. Was there anything else, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Patton, you're free to go. You have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Ms. Patton, I'll give
Thank
you a
you.
call once I get the discovery, okay?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Batar.
You're welcome. Take care.
Too. Bye-bye.
Nope. Oh, she's still in.
Yes, Carol.
Good morning. We're trying to track somebody down because I think she was on Zoom and on the phone, so.
Who are you looking for?
Rachel Patton.
We just finished her case.
Perfect. I think she was in on both and we weren't getting Zoom to work and just wondered if I needed to keep trying.
No, thanks for your help, though.
Thank you. Two 3RP 066710T, City of Romulus versus Ala Alward. This case was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 10:20 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time, bench warrant shall issue. $1,010%. Two 4RP 001890M, City of Romulus versus Janelle Barker. This case was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 10:21 by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time, Bench warrant shall enter 1010%. Two four RP 00190M, City of Romulus versus Shamar Colbert. The case was scheduled for show cause arraignment pretrial at 8 a.m. It's now 10:22 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear for a second time in this matter, bench warrant shall issue 1010%. Yes, Carol.
We're just back hanging out till we know we're all done, because it looks like you've got maybe 1 or 2 left.
Oh, somebody just popped in. Look
Yep.
at you. Thanks a lot, lady. This is 2306940M, City of Romulus versus Charles Campbell. This case was scheduled for final pretrial at 8:40 a.m. It's now 10:23 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. This is 24RP008510M, City of Romulus versus Terrence, Germany. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 8:40 a.m. It's now 10:24 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause.
See, that's the guy I like to talk to. Oh, hey.
What guy?
Oh no, Mr. Greco. I like how he was just calm and just respectful and put you down. Like I like him. Now yeah, I like him.
Mr. Waller, this is 2402710M, City of Romulus versus Brandon Waller. State your name for me, sir.
Brandon Waller.
Mr. Waller, you and I have previously discussed the fact that you were waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've had the chance to speak to Mr. Greco.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Greco, how are we proceeding?
We'd like to set this for another pretrial, Your Honor. I've spoken with Mr. Waller about an offer that I made to him. He wants to think about it before and we'll just set it for one more pretrial so we can decide whether it needs to go to trial or we have a deal or whatever it is.
Mr. Waller, is that your understanding and agreement, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because this is your first appearance, sir, you had not previously been arraigned. Because you're representing yourself, the court will have you stand mute to the charges. Set your bond in this matter at 1,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is appear as directed by the court until the case is resolved. We will adjourn your pretrial to
April 18th at 9:40.
Okay.
April 18th at 9:40 a.m. It's back here with me on Zoom in courtroom number 1. Court staff will mail you notice of that new date and time, sir, okay?
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Waller?
Oh no, that's it. Y'all kind of broke everything down.
I'll see you on the 18th, sir. Have a good afternoon.
Okay, y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
And Your Honor, did we handle Mr. Davis's case? The
We did.
bond? Okay.
Do
And
not
that's just,
return to the rag set bond. Yeah,
okay, and so that's just adjourned for discovery, I believe, correct?
correct, sir.
Okay.
I just started doing the failures to appear. It looks like we only have Mr. Hadley's case and Mr. Labuda is waiting for you. Unless you already spoke to him.
No, I have not. I'm gonna go now.
Okay, thank you. These are 20 RP 040288 and 20 RP 05696. These are both City of Romulus versus Marquise Lambert. The cases were scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 8:50 a.m. It's now 10:27 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. Both cases already being in warrant status, the court will leave them that way. This is 24 RP 010080M, City of Romulus versus Marvin Hudson. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9 a.m. The request from the prosecutor prior to the docket call was that this case be dismissed. Defendant has not appeared, but the case is hereby dismissed. This is 2401370M, City of Romulus versus Crystal Scott. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9 a.m. It is now 10:29 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear, this matter will be set for show cause. This is 24 RP 00135OM, City of Romulus versus Rashawn Gray. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 9:10 a.m. It's now 10:30 a.m. by this court's clock. This case is in warrant status and will stay that way. These are 24 RP 01315A, B, and C. These cases were scheduled for pre-hearing and arraignment pretrial at 9:40 a.m. It's now 10:31 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. The A file will be set for show cause. The B and C files, which are civil infractions, will be deemed in default. Yes, Mr. Jadala.
I think Mr. Batar is gonna stick around for any straddlers. I just want to let the court know if they need me to give me a call and I'll jump back on.
Thank you, Mr. Jadala. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Judge. Have a good day, everybody.
See you, Samara.
Sir, if you give me just one moment, I'll call your case. This is 2402820D. This is City of Romulus versus Sean Labuda. Would you state your names for the record, please?
Sean Michael Labuda.
Sir, the way court staff have you labeled indicates that you're waiving your right to have the assistance of the court-appointed attorney this morning. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've had the chance to speak to Mr. Greco, the prosecutor for the City of Romulus.
Yes.
Mr. Greco, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, we're going to reduce the charge to operating while impaired by alcohol. And Mr. Labuda has indicated he wants to accept that amended charge.
Thank you. Sir, because this is your first appearance, you had not been arraigned in this matter. The court will have you stand mute to the charges inasmuch as you are unrepresented. Court will set your bond in this case at $5,000 personal. You do not need to post any money, but what you must do is continue to appear as directed by the court and participate in the proceedings until the case is resolved. Because of the allegations contained in this matter, condition of your bond is that you not purchase, possess, consume alcoholic beverages until this case is resolved or until further order of the court. Would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may put your hand down. Sir, Mr. Greco has indicated that you will be pleading guilty to the added count of operating while impaired by alcohol, and the original charge of operating with a blood alcohol content of 0.17 or more would be dismissed. Is that your understanding?
Yes, it is.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
I understand.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
I understand.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes, Your Honor.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No, ma'am.
You're pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty.
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on January 24, 2024, in the city of Romulus, you operated a motor vehicle while you were impaired by alcohol?
Yes, ma'am.
And sir, you agree that there is a police report that shows that your blood alcohol content at the time you interacted with police was 0.171?
Yes.
Sir, the court accepts your plea of guilty to the added count of operating while impaired by alcohol and will dismiss the original charge of operating with a high blood alcohol content. Because the allegations in this case is that you were operating a motor vehicle while you were intoxicated, condition of your bond is excuse me. Because the allegation and the charges that you've pled to that you were operating a motor vehicle while you were intoxicated, the next step in these proceedings is that the court will refer the matter to the probation department for interview and development of a sentence recommendation. Once you've had the chance to speak to them, they will schedule you to come back to have sentence formally imposed on you. They will be in contact with you by phone and by email. Please respond to their emails and please respond to their phone calls. Is there anything else, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Sir, is there anything from you before you leave this morning?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you for your patience, sir. You have a great day. I'll see you at sentencing.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
Hey,
Hey,
guys.
Mr. Batard.
Hi, Judge. Sorry to interrupt you. I was going to ask Josh a question. Josh, there's a Mr. Calhoun in the waiting room, but he said he never spoke with you before. I was going to do it. Is he your client?
He was an assigned client that I have not met with. Today's his first appearance. So if you could jump in and meet with him, you know as much as I do at this time, Dan. You can have it. That'd be awesome.
I'll take care of it. Dave, I need to talk to you about him then in your room.
Okay.
Thanks.
In your honor, that's the only thing I've got to bug you with. I'm going to get out of here today. Great to see everybody briefly.
See you,
Take
Josh.
care,
Good
Josh.
to see you. Have a good day, sir. 2402760M, City of Romulus versus Jose Jerez Medina. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10 a.m. It's now 10:37 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. Matter will be set for show cause. This is 2402750M, City of Romulus versus Utilia Shoulders. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10 a.m. It's now 10:38 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. This matter will be set for show cause. This is 2402770M, City of Romulus versus Donald Laramie. This case was scheduled at 10:10 a.m. for an arraignment and pretrial. It's now 10:39 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. This matter will be set for show cause. This is 2402840M, City of Romulus versus Shelley Bird. The case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10:20 a.m. It's now 10:39 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. This matter will be set for show cause. This is 2402830D. This is City of Romulus versus Jessica Owens. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10:20 a.m. It's now 10:40 a.m. by the court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. Matter will be set for show cause. This is 2402850M, City of Romulus versus Momo Wright James. This case was scheduled for arraignment pretrial at 10:20 a.m. It's now 10:41 a.m. by this court's clock. Defendant having failed to appear. This matter will be set for show cause. Yes, Mr. Greco.
Well, I think we just have one more and Dan's talking with him.
Mr. Coleman, Mr. Calhoun?
Yes.
Yes. This is 1637800 OM. This is City of Romulus versus Robert Barnett. The court has received a request from the prosecutor to dismiss this case. The case is hereby dismissed. This is 0402930 OM, City of Romulus versus Alan Calhoun. May I have your appearance, please?
Yes, Your Honor. David Greco here on behalf of the City of Romulus.
Daniel Batar on behalf of Mr. Calhoun, Your Honor. Mr. Calhoun, can you say your name for the record, please?
Alan Calhoun.
Thank you, Mr. Calhoun. Mr. Batar, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, Mr. Calhoun is going to plead guilty to the one count of trespass at the school. The other trespass will be dismissed.
Thank you. Mr. Calhoun, raise your right hand for me, please, sir. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You may put your hand down. Sir, you had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Batar. You understand the charges you face and the possible penalties.
Yes, I do.
And sir, after having that conversation, it's your agreement that you'll be tendering a plea of guilty to count 2, trespass on school property.
That's correct.
And sir, you understand that if the court accepts your plea this morning, you will not have a trial of any kind.
I understand that.
You will not have the opportunity to present witnesses on your own behalf or see and cross-examine witnesses put forth by the prosecutor.
I understand.
And sir, you're entering this plea freely and voluntarily.
Yes.
You haven't been threatened in any way or promised anything to get you to plead guilty.
No.
Are you pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty?
Yes.
Sir, is it true that on March 20th, 2024, in the city of Romulus, you trespassed on school property by being there when you knew you had no reason to be there and no business being there?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Greco?
Yes.
Satisfied, Mr. Batar?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Calhoun, the court accepts your plea of guilty to trespass on school grounds and will dismiss count 1, which was trespass. Mr. Batar, is there anything you'd like to say before fines and costs are imposed in this matter?
He has learned his lesson, Judge. He won't return to that school.
Anything on behalf of the city of Romulus, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Calhoun, the court will impose minimal fines and costs in this matter. Cost of $100, fine of $100, mandatory crime victims fee of $75, mandatory state cost of $50, and fund fee of $20. That's $345. Do you need more than 5 days to pay that amount, sir?
Yes, I do.
Then, Mr. Calhoun, I need you to do one of 3 things. You can come in person to the courthouse, speak to a member of the court staff, and set a payment plan. You can go online to the court's website. There's a contact us button. If you click on that button, it'll drop down. You can submit a request for a payment plan that way. Or you may call and speak to a member of the court's collection staff, but please do one of those 3 things sooner rather than later. Understood?
Okay.
Anything else, Mr. Greco?
No, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Batar?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Calhoun, you're free to go. You have a great afternoon.
You do the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Other than that, the court has called all of the failures to appear. Mr. Greco, Mr. Batar, there is nothing else outstanding. Thank you for your help this morning.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
Mary, have a good one. Judge, have a good one.
All right, take care, everyone.
Are you done with Zoom?
I lied. I need 1 second.
Okay.
That was there's not a lie, it was an incorrect statement. There was one case left to be called, and that case was oh, no. It's not time to call it yet. There is a formal hearing at 11 o'clock. I know.
We're almost there. Wait, I wonder. Wait a second, that doesn't make sense. Why do we have that?
There-
It's an airport case? Is it?
Yeah,
Let me look it up.
it's Greco. No, but it's a City of Romulus case. Middlestat, that doesn't make any sense. It's Wayne County Sheriff. I have no idea why it's on this day at 11 o'clock. It's fine. You want to look into it? I'll bring you your files.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Your name, please?
Richard Scott.
Thank you. Hi, Mr. Mena, how you doing?
Good, Marianne. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm glad you were here today.
Yes,
Do you need a breakout room with Mr. Scott?
I do, please.
Okay, you betcha.
Hey, Mary Ann?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Richard Scott is not my case.
Oh, it's not?
No, it is a Wayne County Sheriff case. And it has Greco listed as the prosecutor on the officer is Middlestat and the prosecutor is Greco.
Yeah, it's a little, I don't understand, it's all messed up. Okay, is Middlestat, is that yours? Is Middlestat you?
You know, I don't have a copy of the ticket. Can I come in your courtroom? We can take a look at it.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
I'll be
for
right-
sure.
All right,
Okay, thanks.
I'll meet you at the door.
Okay, thank you.
It's just a little, everything seems to be wrong.
Yes, everything's messed up. Yeah, I think this is the Wayne County Sheriff ticket.
Okay, all
So
right.
That's gonna be handled by.
That's a state.
State case,
state-
so that's all like, why is it on this document
Yeah.
and it's not on mine?
I don't
So,
get it. Okay, all right, I'll let her know.
He's in the waiting room, you just have him.
I'll take care of
Yeah,
him.
okay.
Okay, thanks.
All
Good
right.
seeing you, Jim.
Good seeing you. All right, but I was all nervous.
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Scott, can you hear me? Sir? Sir, can you hear me? Sir?
But I tell people these stories, they think they're offensive.
Well, she also told me that she thought it was from the famous during the accident that she used to clean herself.
What she's talking about.
I didn't get into that. So.
A BAC from your, Wiggly area,
What's that?
Wiggly, causes you to test positive for alcohol.
Oh my God. Who's thinking these things up?
Well, she had 15 days in jail to come up with that. So maybe she got some help somewhere.
Oh my.
Did Mr. Scott respond to you?
No, still not responding.
Oh.
He's here, but.
I'll go up there then. I might have to call the case.
All right.
Thank you,
I'll
sir.
let you go. You guys have a good weekend.
See you later, you two. You know what? This one you didn't write anything in it, but I don't know if you needed to. This one was dismissed. The prosecutor, if you did, I don't see it. You do?
Oh, I didn't. Oh, because I put on the side because Jeff was there, but he never came in.
Oh, now the dude's gone.
Oh.
Good afternoon. Hello,
Hello,
how are you today?
yourself?
Your name, please?
My name is Kayla Cagle.
What are you here for?
I called today to see when I had court. Apparently it was today at 9:30. The lady directed me to log on to the Zoom.
It was at 9:30. The prosecutor's now gone, as well as the court-appointed attorney. What we will do is recall the case and have it reset.
Does that mean rescheduled?
Give me 1 second. We'll get a date.
Okay.
April 18th at 9:50.
At 9:50.
April 18th at 9:50 a.m., 950. Did you receive a notice to appear for this morning's case?
No, I didn't. That's why I was calling to set up a court date, but she said I had already had one set up.
Hold on one second.
Looks like notice went out March 19th.